All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show here on the Strickland YouTube channel. If you're listening to this the day after, Strickland Podcast Network. Knicks win 140 to 110. Season high in points, season high in assists. Led by Julius Randle with 36 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Followed by Quentin Grimes, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, all with 16, and Emmanuel Quickly with 15 points. Pretty all around offensive explosion. The game started off with a lot of 3-point shooting, especially by Randall. Start off the game with I think 5 threes in the first quarter. And then from there, it was pretty much, there was a point where Detroit kind of made it a game in the second quarter. But after that, once it got to a certain point in the second quarter, like close to halftime, it was basically game after that. And that's when I basically tuned out because, yeah. But, yeah, where do you want to start, Tyrese?
I actually want to start with Grimes. I think Grimes played really, really well tonight. 6 or 7 from the field, 3 or 4 from three. Hit his only free throw. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. The 2 assists don't talk about how good his passing was, because I feel like he was collapsing the defense a ton, and his ability as a connector, I don't think a lot of people really talked about it much, but it was very, very good this game. Uh, just his processing was really nice. He was able to pass the bigs. He was able to pass the people on the wing. Just significant ball movement, doing all the little things, and he played really, really well in his role tonight. So sky's the limit for him, and his ability to score and finish was the big thing that a lot of people had discussed when they talked about him, because he shot really well, but he didn't have a good finishing season. So the fact he's able to finish really well is really encouraging. And ultimately speaking, you knew he was gonna break out at some point. You knew he was gonna get his stuff together, and he did. And Knicks are a better team when he is able to shoot that thing the way he's supposed to shoot that thing.
Yeah, I mean, literally last post game we talked about when his shooting starts to pop, that's when things are really gonna look really good for this team, and it happened to be today. Hopefully, can carry over into the next game. We have a tougher matchup against the Bucks. This game really didn't nothing in this game really proved anything to me or disproved anything to me. Just because of the fact of the opponent that we were playing. I had no idea going into this game that the Pistons were actually that shorthanded. I knew Kevin Knox was getting minutes. I never realized why he was getting minutes, and I realize now that it's because they are injured. So and they're basically trying to go for Wemby at this point. So but yeah. Not really taking too much stock into anything that happened in this game. I did like what I saw from certain players. It was nice to see Emmanuel quickly play in this game. After
Yes.
he was injured, he really made a concerted effort to take it to the basket today, which was something that hurt my parlay. But I'm happy that he's taking it to the basket instead of shooting it more, because I think that's something that he gets criticized for a lot, is the shot selection and taking too many shots from the perimeter. So it was nice to see him take it to the basket, because that's something that Knicks fans have been asking for him to do for a while. And it seemed like it was something that it would happen when he just got comfortable, one, and two, he was able to have the body to be able to deal with it. I think he had to adjust to the NBA game.
Yeah.
And that took time, but here we are where he's able to finally get to the basket somewhat consistently, and he's been finishing pretty well. So that's also been encouraging.
Yeah, there was really nothing to hate about Quickly's game. He was able to do it in the mid range. He did it especially at the rim, like you were saying. His passing was phenomenal. His ability to play make was great as well. Again, good processing. I felt the defense took a little bit of a step back tonight, but at the same time, he's like still working off that injuries, and plus like they were up 30, so like you're not going to get the cleanest rotations up 30. But ultimately, like I felt like it was really strong. I felt like he performed really well, and the 7 to 10 from 2 point range is what's going to be his bread and butter. If he's able to finish at the rim consistently and he's able to take those shots at the rim with his increased strength, then what's stopping him from being like a legitimately efficient guard? Because we already know he can shoot. That's not a problem with him. It's just a matter of getting to the line and converting those attempts in the paint.
Definitely. And tomorrow's gonna be a big test against those trees in Milwaukee. You got Giannis, Brooke, Bobby in the paint down there. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how does his approach, if it changes, because sometimes I notice that IQ, his approach changes depending on the matchup. So it's gonna be very interesting to see um how this continues and if it does.
Yeah, I just want to see him play that aggressively all the time. I know that's a lot to ask of him, but at the same time, I know he can do it. And I do feel like if he's able to do that, then this team ceiling is significantly altered when he's able to play that way and play that style and play that aggressively. So I just want to see him continue to make those strides when getting to the rim and getting to the play like we saw him do towards the end of last season.
Yeah. Um do we want to get into your favorite player?
Nah, not yet.
Okay.
We can talk about
Um
Jalen Brunson. I'm gonna save the best for last, though. All right, all right. I got five for that ass. It's cool. Uh, yeah, we can talk about Jalen Brunson. Um, quiet night tonight, but I think the big thing to talk about with Brunson is the three ball was starting to fall, and that was the big thing where like people were worrying about his, he's not hitting threes, he's not hitting threes, the pull up threes. He's starting to hit pull up threes now. That's big in terms of his development as a lead option, his development as a all-star caliber point guard, his development in general, because that was the one shot where like he didn't have a lot of practice on, and that was his one weakness as a primary creator. And so far he's hitting those, he hit that pull-up three, it banked in, but at the same time, bank still counts. And he learned to manipulate the defense that way. So it's really promising. It's really encouraging to see him do that. Once again, 5 assists, 1 turnover, another steal, another solid night for him. Only played 18 minutes because he was in foul trouble, but at the same time, the fact that you're able to only play him 18 minutes and save him for the Bucks game tomorrow is going to be really encouraging because he's going to have Drew Holiday on him. So the less minutes he's able to play, the better. So yeah, good game from him. Derrick Rose being the nominal point guard tonight is a little concerning, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a quickly is injured kind of thing. So we're going to play it a little bit safe with him. Because I think quickly only played 22 minutes tonight, and the majority of the minutes were in a blowout. So low pressure minutes, a way for him to just kind of get the rust off. So I'm not too mad about the minutes distribution tonight. Derrick Rose doesn't deserve 24 minutes, but at the same time, given the circumstances, that's fine. And I still feel like Derrick Rose played well in spite of the bad shooting splits. But yeah.
yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, nothing from this game is really gonna like bother me or like prove or disprove anything to me just because of the opponent that we're playing and like the result of the game. Like I said, after like a certain point in the third quarter, I tuned out, like I mentally checked out of the game. Um, just because I wasn't finding anything that like I was just like, okay, this is like this is what like the Knicks are supposed to do. They're supposed to beat up on like bad teams. Like we're not supposed to be in like a dogfight with teams like this. So the fact that they came out, handled business is like, okay, good. This is what it's supposed to do. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the Knicks are clearly at the hierarchy of we're not the worst team in the league, and we're better than like the tanking teams, which is a really good hierarchy to establish because it just means that you can keep going up. Um, I think this is really. I think it's encouraging in terms of the three ball was falling. Um, and the guy like, granted, Julius hit six, and he took like a third of the team's total threes tonight, more than a third actually. But ultimately speaking, like the three
Mm,
ball was falling tonight, and that's what matters. Grimes hit three, Barrett was able to hit two, Toppin hit two, which is a really good to see because he was missing a couple, and Brunson hit two as well. So that was really encouraging. Speaking of Barrett, I want to talk about him tonight because I feel like he played a really strong game, even though the percentages aren't pristine. 4 of 11 from three. Yeah, the finishing was bad tonight, but at the same time, 2 of 5 from two. I'm sorry, 2 of 5 from three. That's very solid, and 6 of 8 from the line. So he was able to get to the line 8 times, even though he had a rough night shooting the ball. Able to finish his free throws, which is the really big thing for him. 6 of 8, he'll take that. So if he just hits like one more, it's a good night. So I'm not gonna harp too much on his shooting splits, but ultimately threes and free throws really good. Hopefully the layup starts to come as well. And three assists don't tell the story because I feel like again he had a really strong night passing. I think within the first couple of minutes he like manipulated the defense to get a Mitch Robinson dunk, and then manipulated the defense again to get like might have been a Grimes three or a Randall three. I'm not sure. I think he had another Randall three in like the second quarter when Randall was like scorching hot and like open. So like he made the right reads tonight. He was able to do the things that he was able to do. Well, you expect him to do. Make the right reads. I feel like his defense was okay. Could have been better on a couple closeouts, but again, they were down. I think they were down 30. It doesn't really matter. So ultimately speaking, really strong night from him. And you just hope that he's able to continue finishing at the clip that he was finishing until he got sick.
yeah,
Now,
yeah. I mean, I saw. I was watching just now on the post game. They're going over like the play where Randall got the dunk. It started off with a RJ pass up ahead. There's also another pass that RJ had in the third quarter on a fast break um to Randall in the corner. He missed the three, so RJ didn't get the assist. So that's why I think that assists are not really the best barometer for being able to um gauge how someone's playmaking is for the night. But yeah, I thought his process has been much better in terms of making the right reads. And that's been something that's been consistent these last, I think, 2 to 3 games. So hopefully, it's something that continues as we face a more challenging matchup in against Milwaukee. Sometimes with those matchups, RJ will tend to like press early on. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he approaches that.
yeah, I hope that the good process continues, and I hope that he's able to like show up because I know that he can show up against these good teams. Now, let's get to the man of the night, man of the day, Big 30, Grande Strength for those of you who are multicultural. My man put in 36 piece with 7 rebounds, 5 of them things that we call assists, a good steal, and count 'em, six threes. Ladies and gentlemen, what more can you say about this man? He showed up tonight. He did his thing. Y'all can be disgusted all you want to. It's his birthday today. He deserves his flowers. He put the team on his back. He
He
won us the
wants
game.
flowers. He can ask his wife Kendra for them because they're not coming from
Cry,
me.
weep, put up six threes. I just, not much more you can say about him. Very solid game from him overall. Very encouraging in terms of what you want him to do. I feel like his decisions were pretty quick tonight as well. Like he had a couple mid post ISOs, but at the same time he was able to contribute off those ISOs, and he was able to find cutters and shooters and dunkers really well. So I feel like even those ISOs were like within the flow of the offense. I don't think he like dribbled the ball out of the he didn't dribble the air out of the ball like he usually does with those ISOs. It was like, hey, this guy's open. Let me make this quick pass, manipulate the defense, and create easier opportunities for people. You saw that 2 man game with Grimes. that you usually saw with like Bullock a few years ago, where like he would literally just pitch it to him and he would shoot off the catch. So it's nice to see that wrinkle come back into the offense. I know he misses that with Fournier, and he was able to contribute to three threes tonight. So very good game from him. Happy birthday to Big 30. Hopefully you save some for tomorrow. And if they do trade him, I want Phoenix to give us everything until 2026. I'm not kidding. I want 2 picks, 2 swaps. I want the rights to the arena. I ain't gonna be talking stick no more. Um, Give me Cam Johnson. Fuck it. I want Cam Johnson. So I think for the season he might be at 60 true shooting, by the way. So like anybody who thinks Julius Randle is a negative asset needs to be tested. Like I get the defensive deficiencies are a concern, and I'm not discounting those. But at the same time, from 0 to 16 feet, he's literally one of the most efficient players in the league. So I don't think I think teams are very well aware that like, hey, this guy can shoot the ball and he's a very good offensive player. Like I can show you I could pull up his numbers from 0 to 16 feet, and right now he's shooting. Let's see, he's shooting 73% of the rim, 48% in floater range, and 49% in the mid range from 10 to 16 feet. He's eliminated the long two, which is basically the shot last year that like kind of sunk his efficiency because he was not good at that shot. And now with this game, he's probably going to be around 35% from three, maybe 34%. But like since that like 0 for 11 stretch he went on a few games early in the season, he's been shooting upwards of 39% from three, and 80% at the line, and nearly 50% from the field. So it's a matter of like the dude's shooting damn near 50, 40, 80. Like, and putting up 20 PPG on that level of efficiency. That's 60 true shooting right there. And the guy, regardless of the defense, I'm not saying regardless in terms of I'm dismissing it, but the defense is an issue. But a lot of teams will want a guy who puts up 20 and 60 true shooting. See what happened with Christian Wood. See what happened with Andrew Wiggins, stuff like that. You know, like guys who like just put up cheap and dirty buckets, even in like a hyper 25 to let's say 32-minute big fringe 6-man role. Like those guys are commodities and will be able to be traded around the league.
Ask the Mavs how much they're enjoying that right now.
I mean, at the same time though, it's because Jason Kidd doesn't play him. He's not that big of a problem. Like again, you got a pick. They were like the Rockets were able to get a pick for trading him. So like I absolutely think the Knicks can get a pick and maybe like a second pick protected. But yeah. Or maybe like a pick at a young player if they wanted to move him. I'm not sure they want to move him though. So
And that's where the issue lies in everything.
I mean the issue lies in the fact they're not moving 9, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Anyways, like I said, I'm not moved. We're beating up on the Pistons, and congrats for doing your job as the leading man on the team, I guess, tonight. Yeah, I mean, I'm not moved. We saw the same thing in Minnesota, and then the game after, we saw how this all came crumbling down. The next game, the offense became centered around him. Granted, he had it going, no one else did, but it wasn't his recipe for success. This is not something that's a consistent recipe for success. And my issue is when games like this happen, the team leans too into it for the next couple games, and they think this is something that we can like rely on when it's not. It's like, no, we need to go back to, as much as I hate it, Jalen Brunson ball. It works way better, and it's something that gets everyone else more involved, and it's like way more efficient. So like when these games happen, credit to Julius Randle for performing tonight, but like it's something that the team they lean too into, especially Dibs. Dibs will lean into it way too heavy, and
I mean,
I can't get behind that. Like I just can't.
I agree with the sentiment, but at the same time, Jalen Brunson ball needs to happen when Jalen Brunson's having a good game. Like, it's hard. Like, you can't tell. You can't tell me that. Like, if Jalen Brunson has to go, and the offense is going to run through Jalen Brunson. I think what we've seen so far in the early going is that whoever has the hot hand dominates the majority of touches for the night. So that's not something I'm worried about. It's a matter of like those guys need to get it going more consistently. Like if you want RJ Barrett to have like those touches and that ability to like create, then like in the Pistons game where he had it going, he had those touches and he had that ability to create. I do understand the point where it's like, we don't want it to lean too much in favor of like Julius Ball. But at the same time, even when Jalen Brunson's not creating, he should be able to like handle and he should
It
be able to like make
it's
those passes
not
himself.
even just like leaning too much into Julius Ball. It's just like having a more, and we're never gonna get it because the coach is here, but a more creative offense. Like I feel like the offense is still just like it feels like your turn, my turn a lot of times, and it's just like that's not conducive to winning. And I mean, as much as we enjoy Jalen Brunson ball, I mean, it's still not something that's going to be conducive to consistent winning as of right now, as currently constructed.
Yeah, I agree with that, but at the same time, I think it's a matter of, you know, let's see how far Jalen Brunson ball can take us before we make the eventual moves that this team is going to make. I think a lot of this year is just kind of figuring out the limits of these players and figuring out like what are their roles long term for what we're trying to build towards and aim towards. So I'm not too I care about how people are used. I care about how they're performing in those roles, and I care about like if they're able to perform those roles the way like they might be able to on a team that's more geared towards winning and has the personnel to do it. So like something like Grimes, I like the way Grimes is performing in this role, and I feel like when this team is eventually good, if he's on the team, which I think he will be, then like yeah, I want him to perform in that way. Same thing with Jalen Brunson. Like I want Jalen Brunson to be a 22-7-4 guy because realistically, that's what's going to be asked of him next to another star. Um, can Julius scale? We've seen him be able to scale up, scale down as well. Like again, last game we lost it, but he nearly had a triple double and he took 9 shots. He basically got to the line a ton, and he was able to just pass the ball and make the right decisions and reads. And this game they need him to score, and what does he do? He puts up 37. So it's a matter of like I need to see how these guys can perform in different environments, and I need to see how they can perform with usage, without usage, in this role, in that role, so on and so forth. I care more about that than wins and losses because like I don't think this team is going to be more than like a play-in team at best, unless they catch fire like they did in 2020. So
I agree with that, but my concern is also with this team is just the front office they've shown to like lean a certain way too hard after like any glimpse of like success or anything. Like either success or failure, they'll lean way too hard into one way. We saw this after the 2021 year. They leaned super hard into okay, we got to get like extra shooting and like some like a bare minimum upgrade over Alfred with Kemba. So it's just like one is my concern is always with how the front office perceives what's going on the court and that connection with Thibs. Because as long as he's
I don't.
here and like the way he's utilizing players is it's always going to influence how the front office either doesn't go about things or they do because we see there's a disconnect.
But the thing is, like, I don't think the front office moves have been like in a vacuum. You'd be like, yeah, Kemba Walker wasn't the right move. But at the same time, if you thought about it, what did the team need? They needed somebody like Kemba Walker was injured, but he came off the season, but he was putting up 19 points per game on 55 true shooting, and you got that for $8 million a year. I don't think that anybody expected him
You
to
got the
fall off a
corpse of it.
cliff. Again, like, I don't think anybody expected him to fall off a cliff that heavily. But at the same time, as a 2-year flyer for less than $20 million, like it was fine. They re-signed Burks. Burks was good. Fournier again, like Fournier played fine in his
Rex
role. The
was
problem
good
was
until Thibs ran him into the
Yeah,
ground, utilizing him in the wrong role. That goes back to my concerns about
again.
the
So like,
team.
I don't think it's the front office. I think it's more Tibbs, and
Well,
Tibbs is more.
who's the front office that keeps employing the guy named Tibbs?
I mean, at the same time though, like his rigidity also
Everything
helps out with
falls back
development.
to
So
the
yeah,
front office in a way.
I don't like. It's hard to be like if Tibbs isn't utilizing guys correctly. Again, I do think the front office should take some blame for like the fact that they're not understanding what they need to do in terms of like getting
Picking a
personnel for.
direction.
I don't think like I agree with that, but at the same time, like we know the direction. We know what they want to do.
Mm,
We know what they want to do, man. Like
I'm
they are
not too
literally
sure on the direction,
they
and
we
I'm
know
not
what
the
they want.
only one.
We know what they want to do. Like we know the plan has literally been hitting y'all in the face for 3 years. We know what the plan is.
The plan is not executing,
Dude, the plan is literally get assets, trade star. Like it's so simple, and people are trying
and
to
it
make it seem
still
like
hasn't happened yet.
because they needed one star to get two. That's how it works in the NBA. Literally, how it works. I told you, if Brunson puts himself into a situation where like he's a all-star caliber point guard, I guarantee you they're going to be more aggressive as a result of it. But this team
And who they're gonna
needed.
get more aggressive for? Carl
We'll
Anthony
see.
Towns? Like,
I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, did anybody think Gobert was going to get traded until he actually got traded? No. We don't know what they're going to do, but at the same time, I think they're going to do something. I don't see it. I don't see why they wouldn't do something. They wanted to do something this offseason, and the only reason why they didn't do something because of a third unprotected pick.
my concern
They,
is they're gonna pick the wrong move to make. That's what I think they're gonna do.
I mean, you would have said Donovan Mitchell was the wrong move to make.
Huh?
You would have said Donovan was the wrong move to make.
Yeah, and I still stand by that because the team was not ready for that.
Exactly. So if
So I'm
now
not I'm not going back on that. I'm not
I'm
referencing
not
that.
saying
I'm
I'm not saying
saying
you
that
did.
I just think they're going to pick the wrong person to go all in for as the second guy. That's my concern, just based on everything I've seen so far. I could be wrong. I'd love to be wrong, but so far from what I've seen, that's what I think.
I think it's just a matter of like getting. I think once they feel confident in whatever star that might be on the roster, I feel like if Brunson is playing up to that level, I feel like at that point they're like, okay, well, we got the information we needed. We feel like okay, another year of Grimes starting, he's good. Quickly, year three, he's taking that leap. Mitch, solid. Cam, we can re-sign him, and he's like a solid player, contributor. Like he's a good eighth man, stuff like that. So they're getting this information now, which they didn't get last year, which again comes down to tips. And now they feel like they can make those moves and they can raise the value of these players and they can see what they realistically have. And I feel like they've been able to do that so far. So I think we disagree on like what all roads lead to, but at the same time, I do feel like we agree on the fact that we do think they're going to trade for somebody.
Yeah, I do think they are. I just
It'll be Anthony Davis. It's gonna be filthy. It's gonna be Anthony Davis.
oh lord. All right, let's get into everybody's favorite part of the show before we get into comments and then head out of here. The NBA season is heating up, and there are still so many unknown. Whatever. When I'm looking to get in the action, I bet with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can bet just $5 pregame money line on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to 100% boost with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, total rebounds, and more. The more legs you add, the bigger the boost. The bigger your shot to win big. Um, I've used DraftKings and so many sports betting apps, probably too many, probably more than I should have. But yeah, with DraftKings, I've been able to put so many legs together. Like I've probably put too many legs on a parlay, but I like to see the number go up. Big number make me smile. To put it simply. But yeah, um, I'm not gonna pick anything for tomorrow's games just because there's a lot. I would have probably picked something more for today's games, but today's games were shit shows anyways. But anyways, download the app now. Sign up with code TBPN. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code TBPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes or show description for details. All right. Comments. Not much today. I guess people were either fell asleep in this game or I don't know what happened. I was on the verge of falling asleep. Um, Brian Benjamin, classic Thibs, play starters a ton against mediocre competition. Yeah, I thought like guys like Obi and Sims and Deuce could have definitely got into the game a little bit sooner. Um, that would be my only complaint, I guess. Just because like good for them to get some run, good for our starters to get some rest. We have a way tougher opponent than the Detroit Pistons tomorrow on our home court that I would like us to be competitive for. Um, I mean, we've been competitive for almost every game besides like the Phoenix game, to be honest, and the Golden State game. Um, but yeah, I would have loved to see like Sims and Deuce, um, and Obi get more run because once they got into the game, they were actually able to do stuff and like they were able to get meaningful and useful game reps. So just stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, like Sims was the big thing, uh, but still, like RJ played 23 minutes, Mitch played 26, and Mitch played 23 until like he came back in the fourth quarter for like 2 or 3 minutes because Hardenstein got a cut in his hand. I would like to see Sims there, but at the same time, like I guess it was just a matter of like getting Mitch Robinson some more reps. Uh, Again, like Brunson only played 18 minutes. Like I feel like the minutes distribution was pretty well tonight. If Brunson is playing the least amount of minutes between your 3 point guards, which Rose quickly and him, like that's fine minutes distribution. Like Obi Toppin still played 18 minutes tonight. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it was a matter like they once Tibbs took out the starters, I don't think he wanted to put them back in, and they were running it up. So it's a matter of like run it up so far that way you're up 30, and then the bench could come in and just play essentially the entire fourth quarter. So not like it makes sense. So I'm not too like hung up over minutes or whatever.
Yeah, it was just a minor complaint for me. Let's see. ZMP323 says bring back those classic jerseys. They were fire.
They were.
Yeah, I don't know
They were.
why
I think.
Dolan. That was
Yeah.
like probably the weirdest takeover moment from him. Was like getting rid of those jerseys. I don't know if it was because I don't even think we were like losing in them either, which is like something he probably would have done if like we were like terribly bad in them. But
Yeah,
that
he did
was
that with the
weird.
orange jerseys.
Yeah, we'll never see orange jerseys again for as long as this
Dude,
team
like we lost
exists.
like every game in them, and he was like, "All right, we're done. We're not doing this anymore."
I don't blame him. Those orange jerseys were actually terrible too.
They were garbage. I don't know what he was thinking, dude.
Those and like the sleeve jerseys that we had, those were probably like all time worst Knicks jerseys.
Like the one with like the Subway token logo and the number at the bottom. Those were like we wore a Christmas one day.
Yes, those were bad.
Bad. What else was bad? I like. I don't know the Christmas one when we played in LA. Like the sleeve with like the gray
Oh, it was like
logo.
it was like a monochrome look where we
Yeah,
had like all it was like all orange with like gray outlines.
yeah, those are garbage. Yo, I don't know what the hell the NBA was going through with that whole sleeve jersey thing. It was I think it was like like they wanted to do more soccer jerseys or whatever. And I was like,
Terrible idea.
who the hell's wearing this? And I'm glad like the jerseys that we were releasing lately, like they've been really solid. Like I like the FDNY original like statement jersey; those are good. The white statement jerseys were fire. I missed those.
The white ones. Oh yeah, the
Yeah, the
ones
what?
that we had during the Moutier year, I think it was.
Yeah, it was the KP All Star year. The KP wore those jerseys, and then we had it during the tank year, and then they flipped it to the blue for like the last few years, and then now we're at the new ones, which I like as well. The jerseys they released have just been really solid. The only one I did not like was like the Subway Toki 2021. I hated that. Like the City Never Sleeps one. I hated that so
Mm.
bad.
It's kind of nostalgic just because that was the fake year,
It's a fake
but
it. Yeah, but it was a garbage jersey. Jesus.
ZMP 323 also says there's no reason to ever play Rose ever again, and the fact that he came in before IQ twice tonight is criminal. I thought the fact that he played even like over Deuce in garbage minutes was kind of weird too. It was like, all right, it's garbage minutes, let's see some Deuce minutes, but I guess not. IQ and even Grimes could play PG over him. Yeah, I don't know, that was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
get it.
I'm not too shocked. It's
I think
Dibs.
it was
Like
just
it's literally like his basically his son at this point.
I kind of think it had to do with the knee. It felt like the knee might have been like Tim's kind of just playing it a little bit safe, and then
But like that the thing is with that point though, Rose was out there with IQ in garbage minutes.
oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So like that could have been Deuce running out there and that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Like there was literally no reason to play D Rose at all. Now when D Rose gets that phantom injury that keeps him out for the rest of the year, we know why.
I
It's
mean,
because
at
he
the
played
same time
extra minutes
though,
versus the Detroit Pistons.
that's a sacrifice I think a lot of us are willing to make. So hey, y'all complain about these minutes. You know he got like a minute cap, and then like he's done for the year. So get it out the way now.
Um, ZMP323 also says I thought RJ's process was much better these last couple games. He was making much better decisions and looked to pass more instead of forcing shit. Nice to see him get to the line tonight too. Yep,
Yeah.
very much agree with those points as well.
Yeah, I feel like this was one of his better process games, and I feel like he started to do that a lot more. I feel like his last two games were really solid process. I wouldn't be surprised if like the film might have caught up to him.
Or I might
I
have
know
saw some threads from Twitter.
I know he saw the aerial threads, the Benji threads. They was working overtime, cooking them.
Well, you
So
know,
like,
it's not even just like trying to cook him. It's just like, yo, like we know you can do better. Like, do better, because like that's what's expected of you, especially now that you've gotten paid. Like
yeah,
when you get paid in New York, you're expected to perform a certain way. If you do not, you're gonna hear it from the fan base.
yeah, I agree. But I, I think he'll be fine. Like he's gonna be fine. I'm not too worried about like his counting stats right now. It's just a matter of like his efficiency will rise as the season goes on, just playing next to Brunson and as he's like finds his touch again and stuff. So not too worried about that.
Yeah, for me, it was always for me. I've been saying this since last year, even before we did post game pods. I said it on Twitter. I was like, for me, it's always about process. Last year, when they were like playing, when it looked like they were playing well in the beginning of the year, I was like, I don't really like the process right now. And then like the rest of the year happened, and yeah, but yeah, for me, it's always about process. For me, it's always about process because then the process, as it gets better, it will lead to better results. Like that's always how it works. Like it might not be immediate with like the positive results of the process, but keep working at it and keep building that consistency of it, and it will eventually get better.
Also, update on Jalen Brunson's numbers: 21.5 points, 6.6 rebounds, 3.5 assists on officially 60 true shooting from the field.
I've I've like had this like I guess not really a discussion on Twitter, but like I mentioned it to someone that I noticed was making early all-star predictions, and even in their snubs list, they left off Jalen Brunson, and I put a gif of Jalen Brunson just like see what the person would say back. And they said, well, look at the Knicks record, but they also had Paolo Banchero in their snubs list, and the Magic are 5 and whatever at this point. So I just thought that was interesting. Um, I think Jalen Brunson would definitely get All-Star considerations. I know the NBA and in the East in general is just like stacked with talent.
Dude,
Um,
I don't care. Dude, DeJounte Murray is ass.
well, yeah, I know. I saw today his like the on-off numbers with him and the Hawks. It's hilarious.
And
Like
they
they're a
traded three
minus with him
picks.
on the court.
They traded 3 picks, and people were literally on their knees twerking this summer for, oh, why did we trade for DeJounte Murray? Oh, dude, I have watched DeJounte Murray up close for a year plus. He's not that good. Like, I could have told you this one was coming, bro. Same thing with Trae Young. Trae Young is shooting like what, 30% from the field or whatever, man. Like, clearly after like the Cleveland boys and Halliburton, he's been the best guard in the East. I don't really think you can argue that. Like, he's been top 5 at minimum, you know. So I would like to see him get acknowledged as that. I don't know if he will,
Yeah,
but he's been a top 5 guard in the East so far, and it's been really impressive to see what he's been doing. So
yeah, definitely.
and 90
Um,
and 90% from the free throw line, which is, I don't even think anybody saw that one coming. That one's the most impressive thing to me.
RJ said that Julius would make the best Black Panther on this MSG TV spot.
That might be racist, bro. My,
That might bump RJ in the whoa. Jalen Brunson with his hair out looks insane, by the way.
yeah,
This
you
MSG spot. But yeah.
uh,
RJ gonna bring yourself down in the Knicks players rankings by saying that, dude. Don't let that clip get out public. Well, it's public now. I just said it, so whatever. Someone that's watching this will probably clip it and post it. But yeah, he said that Julius would make the best Black Panther on the team.
all right, bro. That's wild. That's wild.
I think it would be someone that's like agile, but like also like wise and smart. So
So
it'd be like
like
Jalen Brunson.
Sims,
Did you say
Sims,
what?
Sims.
Oh, Sims.
You said agile and smart.
I thought you said Dibs. I was gonna say, yo, what the
No,
hell?
bro. Sims can't jump 5 inches. Are you kidding me?
These guys gave Klay Thompson the last shot of the game. That's hilarious.
So I don't care if the Mavericks won. We start our pick is back. That's all we care about. We want the
Wait,
Mavericks to
what's
win.
the protection on the pick?
Top 10.
So they can't be like absolutely garbage, but they need to be like
Yeah, they need to be 11.
so they need to be like us last year.
Exactly. So right
So they need
now
to be like 37 and something.
so right now they'd be I think they're 10 right now. So like they're just out of it. So they need to be like let's say 43 and 39 and like get like the 10th seed in the play-in, and that way we can get their pick. Because I want that pick. Especially if the Wizards keep cooking up too. Like if the Wizards keep winning and Dallas is going to be mid, and the Knicks are like right there within that 12 to 16 range. Like it's a good season. It's a good season.
Severink says, can someone tell me what the hell is going on with Obi? The guy is totally not attacking the rim for the last month. I don't think it's all on him. I think it's just like a design of how the team has him playing right now. Like he's in the corners a lot, like he was in his first couple years. And I think that's just due to the success that he had earlier in the season. There was one play last game, I think it was, where he actually cut and Jalen Brunson found him and he had an easy basket at the rim. So, you know, I think if he's cutting a little bit more and guys are actively like looking for him, then you'll start to notice that it's more evident. But yeah.
I mean, I just I think my thing with Obi is like I think A, he's relying on the three ball too much, but B, I think teams are scouting out his little leak out in transition that gave him a lot of easy buckets, and also he's just like when you can't dribble and you aren't a threat to shoot in the mid range or to like take one power dribble to the basket, then like you're just really limited. You can't get your offense straight up just on cuts, pick and roll, and pop and like threes.
I
Like
think there's some magic to be found in like fake handoffs with Obi.
the problem with the fake handoff with Obi is that Obi needs to be tasked with dribbling.
He can do it. I've seen him work off of fake DHOs
I
before.
I know, but like in a pinch, sure, but like I don't want that to be a safe on the offensive end. He
No,
can't
of course
dribble.
not. But I'm just saying there's something that can be found there that we don't really utilize. Like we barely utilize it. Like the times that I'm referencing it is probably like 1 or 2 times max we've seen it to be
I think,
used.
in my opinion, like if you need a dude, if you
And
need to
that's
constantly
something that
guard,
can be used as like a trick play or something. Like
I think if you, no, you got it.
the way like other teams like they use it as like a staple at first and then boom, it's something that's used as like tricks.
You remember, so like when the quickly fake handoff to like
Yes.
quickly get into the rim.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, you saw that like teams scouted out for that, and then it wasn't as effective. And now he gets to bust it out like not nearly as much as he used to. I think the thing with Obi is just like
You got to get creative with a guy like Obi.
the problem is we got to get creative for a guy like Obi, and like
And we have the least creative coach in the league.
I think my problem with that's like if you got to get creative with a guy, that's just telling me that that guy's just kind of bit. Because
Not
like
really. It's
the
just a guy that
the
like
majority of like players don't need plays run for them to that extent to be effective on offense because they can
I don't
shoot
even think
or they
what
can
we're
dribble.
asking for is like to move mountains in like the playbook. It's just like do some stuff that we're not doing. Like like Dibs is like the expert at doing stuff that we how am I trying to phrase this? He is an expert at doing stuff that my brain is melting. I can't say what I want to say because it's not coming out. Like the words aren't coming out. But yeah, he's like Dibs is basically an expert at like doing things that we need him to do, but like he's like he only does it when he's forced to.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I'm just like I don't know how much making a priority Obi making Obi a priority the offenses, especially when like they're probably
He
just
could
gonna
be a
do it.
priority of the second unit. I don't see a problem with
Again,
that.
but like you have quickly, you have guys like quickly and Reddish who could like just get their game off more simply, and they're just better at scoring and stuff like that. So, and then even with Sims, like Sims is able to take a power dribble. Like I don't trust Obi taking a power dribble.
All right, you're dragging it now.
I don't trust Obi taking a power dribble.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
you're really dragging it with Obi. Like power dribble, you don't trust him to take one power dribble.
One power dribble for the free throw line? Nah.
Oh my gosh, you're ridiculous.
I mean, he's gone next year, so who cares? Anyway,
Oh my gosh.
it's over for number one. At least he gives us a slab no championship. You think they keeping him over the draft picks they get? Be honest.
I have no idea because this team is honestly unpredictable when it comes to the offseason. Like, did you see draft night coming?
No, I mean,
did you see draft night coming the way it
I
came
did,
like that? Pause.
I just. Yo, I'm glad you paused yourself. I was about to hit you with the wildest one. I mean, I did say they would probably trade out the draft. I said I would trade out the draft.
But did you see it? Did you see the chaos that ensued happening?
I did not see them get a 3 first-round picks out of it. No, but I did say that they should probably trade out the draft because the draft sucked. And I was right because that draft literally sucks, and nobody in that range is like a needle mover. Nobody in that range is better than Cam, bro. It's AJ Griffin and a bunch of bums.
And I wish we could have gotten Matherin. I wish he slipped.
I mean, yeah,
Matherin would have been so fun.
I told you Matherin was him, but like even still, like
my Haitian brethren.
It's all right. Where are the Trinis? I need the Trinis to start playing basketball.
They play in like cricket and stuff.
I know it's filthy. But yeah, like you look at that range, like nobody at 11 is really like a needle mover. Like Usman Jang isn't going to. It's like people want Jalen Williams and Duran. Like we were going to do anything with Duran. like it's really just Adrian Griffin and Tari Eason, and otherwise, like it doesn't matter unless Jake LaRobbie is your fancy, but you could find Jake LaRobbie on the street.
Damn.
It's true.
Severance. No, I don't think any of us shut the game off in the second half. I was fully watching the game. I was just mentally tuned out. Like I saw and was aware of everything going on. I just really didn't care because it was a blowout, and like I don't know how you expect me to care. At that point, but yeah, no, I didn't shut off the game in the second half because I noticed he said that in a comment here.
Also, oh yeah, because we could talk about Kemba being traded. Oh, not traded. But Kemba being
Basically, shout out to Ace
I mean,
Bouchard who says they basically traded Brunson for Kemba.
which is why it was dumped into a sign and trade. Like you could have just did a sign and trade and literally just gotten Kemba. But they could have gotten Kemba, they could have gotten Burks, and they could have gotten like Noel and had the money for Brunson. But instead, they wanted to be an idiot, and then they signed Kemba for a minimum deal. Re-signed Maxi Kleba, who's ass, and then like had Dwight Powell here, and it's just like, what were they thinking, man?
They
Like,
weren't.
we want to talk
That's
about
the issue.
we want to talk about the Mavs front office. Sorry, the Knicks front office, dude. The Mavs front office, aside from drafting Luka, have fumbled every step of the way. Every step of the way, they fumbled. To the coach, they fumbled. And they got to the Western Conference Finals on the back of Luka Doncic being like a top 3 player in the league and Jalen Brunson playing out of his mind. Like they ass. Chicago extended Billy Donovan for whatever reason. That's wild. Like, man, don't even get me started on Minnesota. And now Karl-Anthony Towns is hurt. It's Jover. They blowing it up.
It would make sense to.
It wouldn't even make sense to blow it up because like the Jazz have their pick.
True.
But like, yeah, you gotta entice a team to take on 4 years, $215 million at Karl-Anthony Towns. Good luck.
All right. So before we head out of here, let's talk about tomorrow's game.
I don't wanna.
Bucks basically have like they have the same people that have been available for them for the most of the season. So Chris Middleton, Joe Ingles, they're out. Beauchamp and Ibaka are out. I don't know if they've even played this much this season, or if at all at this point. But yeah, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, those are the 2 names that I am worried about because they absolutely fried us last time in the Garden. So yeah, I'm just concerned about those guys. Giannis is gonna be Giannis. Last time we played him, he wasn't like Giannis, but he still was productive. So that was the thing. But yeah, a team like the Bucks, it's gonna be 3-pointers you got to be worried about. There's the Bobby Portis revenge game that can always happen. There's Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton, and then there's Drew Holiday magically becoming a good offensive basketball player against us too. There's so many ways this game can go. I'm just like, I'm just concerned about all of them.
What's gonna happen is Pat Connaughton, who's shooting like 30% from the field right now. No, he's shooting 28% from the field right now. Is gonna go off for like 5 threes.
And finally find his legs.
Dude, Grayson Allen's gonna go off again. Like, you just know this is gonna happen. So like,
well, yeah, because our team is full of turnstiles on defense. Like, everyone just loves to give up baskets. And
especially the guy like Brook Lopez shooting like his 2013 again. Like,
we gave up 110 tonight. Still, granted we scored 140, but like we are just like a team that is just like giving it up.
Yeah, we're just dropping them draws. It's not fun.
It isn't, because every games against good teams become shootouts.
Yeah, so hopefully they're able to limit that damage. I'm skeptical of how much they're actually able to do that, but I do think there's a chance, especially if the mid-3 is able to play efficiently.
And that's something that's give or take, these days too. But we will see. That is a game that is tomorrow. Knicks off a back to back. Hopefully they don't look like they're actually off a back to back, because that will make watching tomorrow's game even more excruciating. Than it already will be, because we're facing the Bucks, and I don't even remember the last time we beat the Bucks. No, I do remember. It was last
La-
year. We beat them in Milwaukee.
when we went
The
down
comeback,
20 and then went
because the
up 20.
bench decided to go God mode. But like, I can't remember the last time we beat them in MSG. I'll tell you that. Like the last time I remember us beating them was probably like the Moutier year. That's the most recent I can remember us beating them.
That was a good game, though. I missed the vibes around that team.
But yeah, I mean, we had no expectations. We were just like,
Exactly. The best
hey,
vibes are the best vibes are when you don't have expectations. See 2020.
yeah. So Knicks just need to like, I don't know. I don't know how you get rid of expectations after signing a player like Jalen Brunson and seeing the way he performs, but whatever. We will be back tomorrow, of course, after the game. Check out everything Strickland related in the description. Link to the site, merch, Patreon, and Twitter. All great ways to support us. We are also on Instagram now at thestrick.land. So if in any situation Twitter decides to self-destruct because Elon Musk decides to do God knows whatever with that website, we are on Instagram. That is a great way to stay connected with the Strickland and all the great content that we are doing over there. We'll catch you guys tomorrow after the game. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We are on our way to 1K subs, so all of that helps us out a ton. Peace out.